Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Phenomenal Wrestling Podcast. I am Zell once again here to do the SmackDown review, as apparently a lot of things are staying the same, I guess. I don't know. I'm done making announcements. That's Nell's side of things. But we're going to jump right into SmackDown, because SmackDown Live opened up with Daniel Bryan coming out and talking to the crowd, addressing them with how he called them sheep, and he wanted to apologize to the sheep, as he felt that was insulting to the sheep, not the people. He said, excuse me, ooh, I haven't even eaten yet. I don't know why I'm burping over here. He said that they were more like parasites, that they clinged on to the old Daniel Bryan, and he once again called them his new favorite word, fickle. Fickle, fickle, fickle. He once again went through to say that the old Daniel Bryan is dead, the Yes Movement is dead, and just like any of the parasites that have, clung on to Daniel Bryan now that he's dead, because they're parasites, they're dead. He also hypes up his match with AJ Styles, but then Mustafa Ali will eventually make his way to the ring, which is his opponent tonight for some reason. Mustafa came out and cut him off, saying that, he may not know who he is, and as he goes to introduce himself, Daniel Bryan cuts him off saying, I know who you are Mustafa Ali, the heart and soul of 205 Live, and an incredible performer. And Bryan said he sees a lot of himself in Ali, and they don't need to have this match because these people are too self-absorbed and xenophobic to consume with their mindless consumption. Bryan says once again that they are fickle, fickle, fickle. Ali points out and asks, what happened to you? What happened? Because you used to be somebody that everyone on 205 Live looked up to. Like, you were always the underdog, the little man. And he was trying to understand where Bryan was coming from. And eventually Bryan says, what kind of car do you drive? Ali kind of looks confused and says, I don't know what that has to do with this, but an SUV. Bryan asks him why, and he says, well, I have a wife and 2 kids. So Bryan slaps him in the face and shouts, ignorant. Ali comes to get back up and once again slaps him in the face. Ignorant. Bryan does it again. Ignorant. The brawl breaks out. We go to commercial and the match starts during the commercial break, which most of this action actually took place during the commercial break. But it ended with Daniel Bryan controlling more of the match than I would have preferred to see. But it was still a good match. The match came at the end when Bryan put in the heel lock, the heel hold, the fickle lock? I don't know. He's going to name it eventually. Match came to an end when Bryan locked that in. After Ali went up for the 054 and missed. Bryan wins after Ali taps. About 10 minutes. Like I said, it was a good match. I wish they would have done this as more of a coming out party for Mustafa Ali. Like when the matches that Andrade Cien Almas has been having with AJ Styles, Rey Mysterio. He's been putting on all these really good matches, and even though he's been losing, he still looked great. It's to the point now where that's hurting him because it's happened so often, and I can't remember the last time we've seen Andrade Cien Almas. But if Mustafa Ali had a really good, well, they did have a good match, but if Mustafa Ali himself looked amazing in defeat, I would have been a little bit happier. But Bryan continued to beat down afterwards. You come to think that AJ is going to make the save, but I think AJ is selling the beatdown he took from last week on his leg. Following that, we got our rap battle between The Bar and the Usos, hosted by the New Day. They welcome them to the rap battle. They say that they're the host for obvious reasons, which nobody knows what those reasons are. But Sheamus and Cesaro came out dressed up like clowns, and the Usos came up dressed like the Usos. Thank God. Sheamus and Cesaro did this really, really cringy Ice Ice Baby parody that they called Ice Ice Shamey. It was really, really cringy. Sheamus ended it with, we shut it down, dog, and Cesaro said, word to your mother. Big E held up a picture of a trash can to say what he thought that was, and they put it away. But it was the right kind of cringy, you know? It was like, this is what I expect from these two. It was the right kind of cringy, and I don't think it was bad. I don't think the segment was bad. at all. It could have been way worse. It was entertaining. And that's what I wanted out of it. The Usos did their raps and they... oh boy. They ripped on Sheamus for his role in the Ninja Turtles. They told him that he looks stupid, just like how's the crowd chants you look stupid, which they started to do. They mocked his pasty skin. And then they talked about, which in my mind was the line of the rap battle. They talked about how do you knock out Cesaro's teeth with no knuckles? I know, let me introduce you to Mr. Turnbuckle. And it worked. It really, really worked. It was also cool that they talked about Jimmy not having any injuries. They called himself they gave himself the Iron Man nickname, Tony Stark, so it worked. And they welcomed us to the Uso Penitentiary, as they do. The Bar went for a cheap attack after that, broke out a fight between all three teams, and the Bar ended up looking tall, which is odd, because I picture the Bar retaining the titles, but we'll see when I get to my predictions. Asuka cut a promo backstage, saying that she thought nobody was ready for Asuka at WrestleMania, but she made a mistake, and at TLC, she's going to undo that mistake. And then she yelled in Japanese, which I don't understand. We then got The Miz in the ring with the World Cup trophy in his hands and says that it's Shane's week for custody, but he calls Shane out. Shane comes out, and The Miz is saying that we can make this work if you give it a chance. The Miz sounds like a very, very desperate man, and I am actually very interested in this angle, believe it or not. I really want to see where this goes. I want to see how this is going to end up. I want to see who is actually going to be the bad guy and who the fans will sympathize with. Because The Miz, even though he's always a heel, he's over. You know, he's really, really over because he's amazing on the microphone. And he's worked so hard to get better in the ring. And Shane is Shane. Everybody loves Shane O'Mac. Like, even after the Best in the World thing, he got heat for like 2 weeks. And then they went back to cheering him. But, he tells Shane this could work if Shane just gives it a chance. The Miz says that when he did the interview last week with Daniel Bryan, that Shane said he owes him one, and Shane said, I never said that. But Miz gets a referee, Miz gets the Vegas Boys, and the Vegas Boys basically just jump Shane, which Shane fights the whole match by himself, as The Miz did a couple weeks ago, or last week. And The Miz... this ugly float over DDT, and then this really ugly triangle hold. It was really ugly. But, he tapped out. They win, and that was kind of that for the moment. We come back from commercial, and Paige is in her office asking the referee, like, what he was thinking, and the ref said that Paige said she sanctioned the match. Vegas Boys showed up with invoices from The Miz saying that Paige would pay them $5,000 each. Paige got furious, ripped up the invoices, and told everyone to get out of the office. We then get Randy Orton in the ring, because now there is a chairs match between Randy Orton and Rey Mysterio at TLC, because of course, we need a chairs match. Of course. We don't even have a traditional ladder match. We have a guitar on a ladder match that we're calling a... It's Raw. It's not my territory. Randy comes out with Rey's mask, and of course Randy's running down Rey Mysterio. He's going to destroy Mysterio at TLC. All the superstars in the back are afraid of 3 letters TLC, but Mysterio has to worry about the 3 most destructive letters in all of sports entertainment. R-K, chair shot to the back by Mysterio. Mysterio runs Randy off with a chair, hits 619, Orton ran away, Mysterio stood tall. They really couldn't do much with this feud. I feel like they started it way... I guess they've been trying to plant seeds for a while with Rey beating Randy at the World Cup and a couple of other matches they had, but I guess this is their blow off, and I really hope it is. With the rumors being that Mysterio is eventually going to get a U.S. title match, well, I think Randy's going to win this one, so I guess it's not going to be over if Rey's going to end up getting a U.S. title match, unless they just do a number 1 contenders. We'll see. We got TLC coming up. We'll see. They interviewed Becky Lynch backstage really quick, asking her about TLC, and she said, "I can't wait to remind the world just how much chaos can happen when the man comes around." That was it. We then got Hardy and Rusev versus Nakamura and Joe. We originally had announced earlier that Hardy was going to address Samoa Joe, but that didn't happen. Plans changed. They put on a match. Jeff takes the brunt of the punishment. Rusev gets the hot tag. Rusev looked really good off this hot tag. And the end came when Samoa Joe was outside of the ring. Hardy hit his clothesline from the apron to the outside of the ring to take out Samoa Joe. Rusev was about to get Kinshasa'd, but turned it into a Machka kick. Rusev pins the United States Champion after about 8 minutes, and Rusev is most likely going to get a U.S. title shot. But honestly, I want Shinsuke to keep the title. I want Shinsuke to lose that title to Andrade Cien Almas, because that man deserves so much more. Where is he? I'm going to start doing a count to see how many weeks Andrade isn't on SmackDown. I believe this would be like week 3. I'll go back and do research for next week. We got another promo hyping up Lars Sullivan. Where is he going to go? I personally believe he should go to SmackDown because he would just get lost in the shuffle on Raw. Not only that, but the workers on SmackDown that he could work with to help him improve in the ring. And he could kind of be mentored by Big Show backstage, honestly, if he's still hanging around on SmackDown. That could be a thing. But he could work with the likes of Daniel Bryan, who's amazing in ring. AJ Styles, who's amazing in the ring. Andrade Cien Almas, amazing in the ring. There's so many guys on SmackDown that are just amazing in the ring that I feel like Lars could learn from. Don't get me wrong, Raw does have those people, but I feel like SmackDown has more. You know, SmackDown is the wrestling show, the core fan show, and Raw is trash. They did recap Daniel Bryan's heel turn, and then AJ got interviewed backstage, basically just saying he's biding his time, and when TLC comes, he's going to destroy Daniel Bryan. Like I'm going to destroy my cat if he keeps scratching my damn door. So then we hit our main event, Asuka versus Charlotte in a WrestleMania rematch. There was also an advertisement for Naomi versus Mandy Rose, but that didn't happen. I'm assuming that's going to happen next week. Charlotte was behind the curtain with Caleb Braxton. She says that the queen doesn't break. She breaks undefeated streaks. She will give the Empress and the man a preview of what will happen when they bow down to the queen. They put on a really good match. A lot of great near falls, a lot of great action, great technical prowess. The match comes to the end when they both spew outside after Asuka lock, after Charlotte gets out of an Asuka lock. Charlotte hits Asuka with the kendo stick, gets DQ'd. Asuka gets the win, proceeds to beat Asuka with the kendo stick. Charlotte attacks Becky Lynch as well. Becky's first bump since getting punched in the face by Nia Jax. Becky fights back now that she's pissed. She starts beating Charlotte with the kendo stick. And then Asuka ends up standing tall, beating both of them with the kendo stick, throwing one of them over the table. Asuka stands on top of the table, holding the kendo stick in the air. I pray to God, this is what it is. The badass Empress of Tomorrow is back. And that is how SmackDown goes off the air. Overall, I thought it was a really good go-home show. All of the angles that were on TLC got some kind of direction, in a way. And I'm fine with that. That's all I ask for, is give us storyline, give us direction, and give us good matches, which we did have with Mustafa Ali and Daniel Bryan, albeit I feel like Daniel Bryan had too much offense. And the WrestleMania rematch, which I think it ended in the right way with the DQ going into this TLC match, this triple threat TLC, because it keeps none of them lost, first off, which is good. Even though Asuka stood tall, Charlotte still looked ruthless, and Becky still looked like a badass, just the way she carries herself. Becky, in my opinion, I've said this before, is the best thing going in WWE right now, and they need to ride this wave. Whether they take the title off her or not, I don't know, but I pray to God they find a different way to get her to fight Ronda Rousey, then move her over to Monday Night Raw. I pray to God. Becky is one of the cornerstones of SmackDown Live. As same thing with AJ, I feel like they need to stay on SmackDown Live. They are the cornerstones. They are what SmackDown Live is built on. And that was SmackDown Live, ladies and gentlemen. Let us know what you thought about SmackDown Live in the comments. Please like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. And that's kind of it. We really don't have a normal sign-off on this thing, which is something we should honestly work on. But, we'll get there. Thanks so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. You all enjoy your day, and we will catch you for our predictions on TLC very soon.